Have you ever sat at a roundabout with three cars honking behind you, completely unsure which lane you should be in, which exit is actually yours, or whether that car on your right is about to cut straight across your bonnet? If you have, you are not alone, and by the end of this video, you will never feel that panic again. Roundabouts cause more confusion, more near misses, and more pointless arguments between driving instructors and learners than almost any other feature of the British road network. Today, we are going to fix that, once and for all. Stick with me, because after this, you will be able to drive through a single-lane roundabout, a multi-lane roundabout, a mini roundabout, and even one of those terrifying double roundabouts without a moment of hesitation. Let's start right at the beginning, because understanding why roundabouts exist actually makes them much easier to use. A roundabout is designed to keep traffic moving in a continuous flow, rather than stopping everyone dead with a red light. Instead of four directions taking turns to stop and go, cars simply merge into a circular flow, find a gap, and peel off when they reach their exit. When used correctly, this system is faster, safer, and produces fewer serious collisions than a standard crossroads, because the speeds involved are naturally lower, and the angles of any potential collision are far less severe. The problem is not the roundabout itself. The problem is drivers who never properly learned the rules and have simply been guessing their way around them for years. The single golden rule that underpins every roundabout in the United Kingdom is this: traffic on the roundabout has priority over traffic entering it. That means when you approach a roundabout, you must give way to traffic already travelling around it from your right, unless road markings or signs tell you otherwise. That is the foundation. Everything else we talk about today builds on top of that one rule. Now let's talk about approaching a roundabout properly, because this is where most of the confusion actually begins, long before you even reach the give-way line. As you approach, you need to identify three things. First, which exit do you need? Second, how many lanes are available on the approach? Third, are there any road markings on the surface telling you which lane to use for your exit? Many roundabouts, especially busy ones, will have arrows painted on the tarmac, showing you exactly which lane leads to which exit. If those markings exist, follow them. They are there because the roundabout has been specifically designed with lane discipline in mind, and ignoring them is one of the biggest causes of last-minute lane changes, which is exactly the kind of maneuver that causes sideswipe collisions. If there are no lane markings, we fall back to the classic clock face method, which is still one of the best ways to think about roundabouts, even today. Imagine the roundabout as a clock face, with 12 o'clock straight ahead of you. If your exit is before 12 o'clock, so somewhere between 9 and 12, you are turning left, and you should approach in the left-hand lane, signal left as you approach, and stay in that lane all the way round. If your exit is roughly at 12 o'clock, so straight ahead, you generally approach in the left-hand lane, unless signs say otherwise. You do not signal on approach, but you signal left as soon as you pass the exit before the one you want, to show you are about to leave. If your exit is somewhere between 12 and 3 o'clock, meaning you are turning right or going almost full circle, you approach in the right-hand lane, signal right as you approach, stay in the right lane while going around, and then signal left once you have passed the exit before yours to show you are about to come off. That signal left before you exit is one of the most commonly forgotten rules on the entire road network, and it matters enormously. It tells the driver waiting to enter the roundabout that you are about to leave, which lets them time their entry safely. Forgetting it is not just bad manners, it actually increases the risk of a collision at the point where traffic is entering. Let's talk about mini roundabouts now, because these tiny painted circles cause an enormous amount of confusion, especially for newer drivers. A mini roundabout follows exactly the same priority rule as a normal one. Give way to traffic from the right that is already on the roundabout. The difference is size and speed. Because mini roundabouts are often found in residential areas or busy junctions with limited space, you need to treat them with real caution. You should still give way to your right, you should still signal appropriately, but because the roundabout itself might just be a painted circle rather than a raised island, some drivers wrongly assume they do not need to follow the same rules. They absolutely do. The law does not distinguish between a full-sized roundabout and a mini one when it comes to priority. One particularly tricky situation at mini roundabouts is when you are turning right and there is oncoming traffic also trying to turn right at the same tiny junction. In this situation, UK guidance allows drivers to pass either in front of each other, nose to tail, or by keeping to the left and turning around the back of each other, whichever is safer given the space available. This flexibility exists because mini roundabouts are often too small for the standard clockwise circulation to work perfectly, so common sense and clear signalling become even more important here than usual. Now, let's move on to multi-lane roundabouts, which are honestly where most people's confidence collapses completely. The truth is that multi-lane roundabouts follow exactly the same clock face principle we just covered. The only difference is that you now have more lane options and more traffic to track. The key skill here is committing early. Decide which lane you need well before you reach the roundabout, not while you are already on it. Changing lanes mid-roundabout is legal in some situations, but it is far riskier and should generally be avoided unless lane markings specifically guide you to do so, such as on very large or unusually shaped roundabouts, where a dashed line shows you exactly where to move across. Speaking of unusually shaped roundabouts, let's talk briefly about the more advanced designs you will encounter, because the UK loves to throw curveballs at drivers. Spiral roundabouts use painted spiral lane markings that guide you naturally into the correct lane for your exit without you needing to think too hard, as long as you follow the paint. Signal-controlled roundabouts have traffic lights layered on top of the roundabout system, usually at busier junctions, and when those lights are showing, you must obey them, even though your instinct might be to just watch for gaps in traffic as usual. And then there is the roundabout that terrifies almost every learner driver in the country, the magic roundabout, most famously found in Swindon. This is actually a ring of 5 mini roundabouts arranged around one larger central roundabout. It looks chaotic, but it works because drivers can choose to go around it in either direction, using whichever path is quickest. And each small roundabout still follows the same simple priority to the right rule we started with. Once you understand that it is just 5 ordinary mini roundabouts stitched together, it stops being scary. Now, let's talk about pedestrians and cyclists, because a lot of driving tests and a lot of real-world incidents come down to how you treat vulnerable road users at roundabouts. Zebra crossings or signal-controlled crossings are sometimes placed just before the entry and exit points of larger roundabouts. You must give way to pedestrians already on those crossings, exactly as you would anywhere else. Cyclists are allowed to use the roundabout the same way a car would, taking the appropriate lane for their exit, but many cyclists choose to stay in the left-hand lane the entire way round, regardless of their exit, essentially treating the roundabout like a pedestrian would, going around the outside. If you see a cyclist doing this, give them plenty of space, and do not assume they are turning left just because they are in the left lane. Always check their signals and body language before you commit to a maneuver. Let's cover a few of the most common mistakes that lead to points on a license, an accident, or at the very least, a very embarrassing horn blast from the car behind. Mistake number 1 is undertaking on a roundabout, meaning overtaking on the inside in the wrong lane. This is illegal and dangerous, and it happens constantly when drivers panic and swerve into a gap without thinking. Mistake number 2 is straddling lanes, sitting on the white line because you are not sure which lane to commit to. This confuses everyone around you and can easily cause a side collision. Mistake number 3 is failing to signal left before exiting, which we already discussed, but it is worth repeating because it is genuinely one of the single biggest causes of roundabout-related near misses in the country. Mistake number 4 is hesitating too long at the give way line when there is a clear gap, which might sound like the safe option, but it actually causes rear-end shunts because the driver behind you is expecting you to move. Confidence, once you know the rules, is just as important as caution. It is also worth quickly mentioning enforcement, since misusing a roundabout is not just about safety, it can also result in a penalty. Careless driving charges, which can include dangerous lane changes or ignoring priority at a roundabout, can lead to points on your license and a fine. And in more serious cases, involving a collision, the penalties escalate considerably. Many local councils have also increased camera coverage around complex roundabouts, specifically because of how frequently lane discipline offences occur there. So getting this right is not only about keeping yourself and others safe, it genuinely protects your licence and your wallet too. So let's bring this all together into one simple mental checklist you can run through every single time you approach a roundabout from now on. Identify your exit before you arrive. Choose your lane based on road markings, if they exist, or the clock face method, if they do not. Give way to traffic already on the roundabout coming from your right. Signal appropriately on approach based on whether you are turning left, going straight ahead, or turning right. Stay committed to your lane, unless markings specifically guide you otherwise. And always signal left just after passing the exit before yours to warn other drivers that you are about to leave. Master that checklist and roundabouts genuinely stop being stressful. They become second nature, just like any other junction on the road. Roundabouts are not designed to trip you up. They are designed to keep traffic flowing safely and efficiently. And now that you understand exactly how they work, you can drive through every single one of them with total confidence, whether it is a tiny painted circle in a quiet village or a 5-ring monster like the Swindon Magic Roundabout. The rules never actually change, only the scale does. If this video helped clear up the confusion once and for all, do me a favour and hit that subscribe button, because we cover exactly this kind of practical, no-nonsense driving knowledge every single week, the stuff that keeps you safe and keeps your licence clean. Subscribe to my channel, UK Fines Alerts, so you never miss the videos that could save you points, save you money, and keep you driving with total confidence. See you in the next one.